Hi, we bought our Volkswagen Jetta in 2010, December 2010, and we love the car. It's got 29,000 kilometers on it now, but at about 20,000 kilometers we had to make a couple of winter trips and we ended up with some rock chips. So I want to show you those rock chips and why I think Volkswagen is making a very poor body now. At least with this car it is. I don't know about the other ones, but on this car you can see that the paint has been chipped off in lots of places. So their paint is very brittle now. It's not like it used to be. There's chips on the hood that are fairly deep, and on the front plastic bumper there's no rust in these. You can see that there's good galvanizing underneath the paint. On the roof, right above the windshield, there's a rock chip there. This really concerns me because this rock chip is rusting. It's only a few months old and it's rusted. I've complained to our Volkswagen dealership and they haven't done anything about it, and I've contacted the Toronto Star to try and do something for us, and they now have Volkswagen Canada involved in this car. On the other side, I'll show you the rock chips that have occurred over here and are all rusting and the paint is blistering. This rock chip down here is only 6 months old. You can see that there's a tiny little wee imperfection in the paint, and underneath it's bubbled, which in my opinion means there's no galvanization underneath this paint. This rock chip over here is the same. They say they don't cover rock chips, and I don't want them to cover rock chips, but they advertise this car as being galvanized, and you don't have this effect with a galvanized vehicle. This was a bubble in the paint that I chipped off. The paint hadn't adhered to the metal, and you can see that it's very well galvanized there. There's no rust occurred. I chipped this off about 3 months ago in front of our local representative. She still doesn't understand that this is what galvanized metal is supposed to look like. Down here we have another rock chip that's just a tiny little wee thing, and you can see that it's bubbled out. Down here is another one. So almost everywhere on this door where it's had a rock chip, it has a blister. In other words, the metal is rusting underneath the paint. Something that really bothers me is down in the fender well here. Can you move out of the sun there, Ben? Down in the fender well, you can see that right down in there, there's a bunch of rust that's occurring. I put Duragard, which is a rock guard material, all on the bottom of this car when I got it brand new, and I Duragarded all inside the fender well, and the paint is so brittle that with the rock chipping happening, it's knocked the paint off, and underneath the paint you can see there's no galvanizing at all. It's straight iron. Now we had this is our second Jetta. We had this 2003 Jetta prior to buying this one, and we sold it to our son. It's an older car. It was dip galvanized. That one's made of galvanized sheet metal. So this one you expect to be a lot better, but you can see that when there's galvanizing, sun isn't very good on this spot, but this is an old rock chip, and you can see that there's no rust there. There's a little bit of dirt in the rock chip. It's right down to bare metal, and it hasn't been touched up, which it should be, but it hasn't been, and there's no rust at all. These doors have some rock chips on them. There's no rust at all anywhere on the doors. The hood, it's got lots and lots of rock chips on it, but none of them have any rust at all in them. They're up here on the side of the windshield, or on the door beside the windshield. You can see that there's an old rock chip there. There's absolutely no rust in it. It's galvanized. That's what it should look like. Down here there's a piece on the door, just to show you a door that's the same as the other car. There's a rock chip, no rust. The paint is almost wore off this car because of all the abrasion it's had, and yet the paint is still really good, which means the paint was a lot better in those days. Inside the wheel well, there's been extreme abrasion here. You can see that the paint has been knocked off. It's actually peeling off now. That is what old oxidization looks on galvanized metal. It looks like that. See, there's no major rust at all, and these are big rock chips that have been here for a long time. So I hope that Volkswagen Canada comes through for me. Otherwise, this will be on YouTube and you'll all be able to see it. So thanks for your time.